Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to this preview for the Arsenal versus Manchester City game. And what we've done, we've got BHAVSS back. BHAVSS 14, if you don't know, he's a regular contributor on Arsenal Fan TV, AFTV, as it's now called. And he was part of the Young Guns and also got his own YouTube channel. Which is BHAVSS 14, and that will be in the description below. But anyway, as usual, what we did was we sent 5 questions to each other, and what we're going to show you now is us answering those particular questions.
Yo guys, what's going on guys? My name is BHAVSS and today I'm going to give my thoughts on Arsenal's up and coming game against Manchester City. This should be very interesting. The first question is Emery. Are the Arsenal fans firstly happy with him going, and secondly, who do I want to see next? In terms of the first part of that question, yes, we were happy, and it's not like we have any personal grudges against Emery. The matter of fact was we went so long without winning games. We 2-0 up against Palace, and then you drew that game, 2-0 up against Watford, and you drew that game as well. And it was that constant, we couldn't hold leads. We were going up 1-0 or 2-0 and we would lose that lead at home as well, and we went so long without winning. It was an accumulation of poor football. I've been to literally every Emirates game this season, and I've fallen asleep on most of them under Emery because it was just boring football. And if it's boring football and the players are not good enough, understandable. But I feel like personally, I think Arsenal players, there are good players there, and I feel like with the squad we have, the attack we have in particular, we should not be fighting 10th and 9th. We should be up there with the Chelseas and the Cities. So to even see a team like Leicester City, push on forwards and see Arsenal fall back, it was just a matter of fact was, we knew Emery wasn't the guy, and it was just a matter of when was he going to go. And when he went, it wasn't happiness, I would say. We weren't celebrating, it was more of a fact of relief. Like, he's gone, it's done with, we move on, we give the job to Freddie Ljungberg. It's not properly worked out for him yet, but obviously the West Ham game was a good result for us, and I don't think he's the right man. And who I think he should be next, there's 2 options here. One, Mauricio Pochettino. I think he should be our first choice. He's available, he's left Tottenham, he's a coach that will improve our players, and at Tottenham he was massively underrated. To win a trophy at Tottenham is a very hard task to do. I don't consider them as a big club like a Arsenal or United or Liverpool or a City right now, where either they act like a big club like City do, or they actually are a big club in terms of size and fan base and that. And I don't think Tottenham are. I think they're just slightly below that, and they never have won trophies in their entire lifetime as a football team that much. So in terms of Tottenham and Pochettino, I always thought Pochettino was always going to be a hard job to win trophies at Tottenham, so I don't really judge him on that. That's why, in terms of him being Premier League proven as well, I want to see him at Arsenal. In terms of my other option, and this is interesting because he's obviously at Man City right now, that is going to be Mikel Arteta. I don't know what it is about Arteta. It's just, the philosophy. Pep constantly bigging him up, the players bigging him up as well. I just feel like he could be a potential guy that can come in at Arsenal, and it's just something that intrigues me. And if it happens, you know what, I wouldn't mind it. So my first choice is Mauricio Pochettino, followed by Mikel Arteta.
So my first question from BHAVSS was, what have you made of Man City this season, and what's changed from last year? This season has been I must admit, it's been very frustrating. We picked up the Leroy Sané injury in the Community Shield, which wasn't great. And even though last season his form was a little bit in and out, he's still an exceptionally gifted player, and certainly one who plays on the left wing. Is a player we haven't got at this moment in time, a player that really takes people on the left, commits them inside and outside. So that was a big loss. And then, of course, our best defender in the team, and that was Aymeric Laporte, got injured, and he's been an absolutely huge miss. There's been loads of debates on whether we should have replaced Kompany in the summer. We didn't. We went with what we had, which was Laporte, Stones, Otamendi, Eric Garcia, Fernandinho can play there. But like I've said on others, we also had Danilo, who was a really flexible player and could have covered at centre-back, left-back, right-back, centre midfield, right midfield. But we didn't. We got rid of him to Juventus and brought in Cancelo. So we then had Benjamin Mendy picking up another injury. Alexander Zinchenko has been out, had surgery. He's only just returning. We brought in Angelino back into Manchester City, but I'm not sure whether he's good enough, if I'm being honest. So across the back line, it's been really in and out. Each week the team seems to be different. Fernandinho's been moved into the centre-back role, which is not his best position. Most City fans know that. is better in the central defensive midfield role. Probably one of the best in the world in that position. But Pep's just persisting with it, and he keeps rotating his centre-back pairings. He changes his full-backs, and I just think the consistency hasn't been there this season at the back, which has created goals for oppositions and made things easier. So yeah, that's been the key area so far. Of course, we brought in Rodri. Rodri's still adapting to the Premier League in that holding role. He's had some wonderful games and then some quiet games as well. So I think he's going to need some time. David Silva's in his final year. He's not reaching the levels of last season, but he's still an exceptionally gifted, wonderful player, world-class player. We've had Bernardo Silva since he started the season pretty well, and then since the Benjamin Mendy tweet fiasco. Since then, he's really struggled, and I don't know whether it's really affected him. But we're just seeing glimpses of him coming back. Kevin De Bruyne started off slow. He's now hitting his stride again. And then we go and lose Sergio Aguero to an injury. So injuries have played a massive part. It shouldn't be an excuse, because that's what a big squad is all about. But anyway, I think that's the change from last season. And even trying to go back to back Premier League winners. I mean, it's so difficult. It's very, very hard. Players, have to be at their optimum 100% every week to do what we've done over the last 2 seasons, which is 198 points. Broke every single record going. And it was always going to be very difficult this season to do it, even without all the injuries. But then add all these injuries into it. Yeah, it's been a real in and out season so far. So that's my thoughts on the difference.
On to the second question, which is, if Freddie stays, where do I see Arsenal realistically finishing? I think if Freddie Ljungberg stays to the end of the season, we won't finish top 4. I think we'll finish 5th or 6th at max. In terms of, we're so far off right now of the Leicesters, but Chelsea, I think, are like 9 points ahead of us. We can still catch them up or something like that. But it's more the fact is it's the playing right now. Yeah, we beat West Ham, but let's not hide the facts. That game was a poor game from Arsenal. We were poor in the first half, and if West Ham were a better team, they may have actually beaten us. So I'm not going to count that one game as a fantastic performance. We haven't actually seen a fantastic performance this season. It's all been a result, but a fantastic performance. We've not seen many of those. So I'm not Freddie Ljungberg. We've seen glimpses here and there going forwards, but defensively we look just as bad as under Emery was. So I feel like realistically this season, if Freddie Ljungberg stays, Arsenal are going to finish 5th or 6th. We won't make top 4 because we're simply right now not good enough or don't have the right tactics to get into that top 4.
Okay, question number 2 from BHAVSS was, is the title race already over? And if so, should City focus on the Champions League? Is it over? I'm still one of these. People will call me delusional. Until it's mathematically over, that's when it's over. It's going to be extremely difficult. There's no doubting that whatsoever. 14 points currently. Liverpool, as it stands, I think I've just listened to winning 1-0 at half-time. So, yeah, for me, if I was a realist, yeah, of course it's over now. I can't see Liverpool dropping that many points. We're already 6 points behind Leicester as it stands right now, making this video. So just trying to get the 6 points back to Leicester is going to be potentially difficult this season. But to get another 8 to get to Liverpool, yeah, I think it's going to be nigh on impossible this year. I'm just hoping Leicester go on a massive run and then beat them in the next few weeks and put a little bit of pressure onto them. But they've got a load of games coming up thick and fast, and we can only hope, I'm guessing. It seems like everything's going their way this season, and you need that little bit of luck if you're going to win the Premier League. As for City, do we just focus on the Champions League? I think Pep won't do that. Remember, the Champions League don't resume until February. So between now and then, I think Pep will assess. He'll go in strong on every single Premier League game. And then at the end of January, we hopefully might have Sane and Laporte back. And I think he'll just see where we are then. And if we're still 10, 14 points behind, then I think it's pretty much a game over. And everything will go into the Champions League. And the cup competitions, let's not forget them. We've done really, really well in the Carabao Cup, League Cup, the FA Cup. So I think City fans might want another FA Cup. We've not won that for a few seasons. So yeah, not just the Champions League. I think cup competitions, we forget. If we forget the league, let's say, we could still end up with 3 trophies this season, domestic and the Champions League. So yeah, but I think he'll wait until the end of January to see what's actually happening, and then more than likely all efforts will go into the Champions League.
So on to the third question, which is who has been my standout player this season. The standout player for me this season has to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The rest of the players have been pretty poor. I mean, shout out to man at Bernd Leno who saved us from, a few humiliations. But in terms of, the goals, I think he's got 11 Premier League goals. He's up there. Obviously, he's behind Jamie Vardy. But to see Arsenal lack creativity this season, we've got players that are creative. It's just a matter of fact, we don't have a system to get the best attack. And then to then see Aubameyang still score 11 goals and rescue us again and again and again, the old cliche is there. Where would we be without Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? We would actually be fighting relegation. I'm not even lying about it. We might actually be in the relegation zone. So I think the stand-up player for us is Aubameyang. I thought it may have been someone like Nicolas Pepe, but obviously it hasn't really worked out. But obviously that goal against West Ham, hopefully he can kick on from there. But my stand-up player this season has to be Mr. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Okay, Babs, third question to me is thoughts on Mikel Arteta as the next potential Arsenal manager. Any good? Well, I mean, if we talk about Mikel Arteta, the players absolutely love him. Pep loves him. He's clearly learned so much under Pep Guardiola. I think Pep is desperate for him to stay, if I'm being honest. And I don't know, will he stay, won't he stay? It's not just Arsenal, it's Everton as well. The rumours coming out this morning and last night were that Everton are still potentially looking at him. I hope he stays, I really, really do. Like I said, Pep trusts him, and let's face it, he's not had a first-team managerial role yet, and to go straight into a club like Arsenal or Everton, I think possibly might be a mistake. I have a feeling that City and Pep, when Pep does eventually leave, might be looking at Arteta as the next replacement. So it all depends on Arteta's ambitions and how far he wants to go and how quickly he wants to get there. I think he's learning under the best coach in world football. So for me, he should stay at City for at least another 18 months until Pep's contract runs out, and then see where it goes. By then, he would have had 3 years under Pep Guardiola. Wow, what an education that is. So I would be surprised, but then again, I possibly wouldn't be. But I'm contradicting myself there. But I hope he stays. I really, really do. I think taking a job of Arsenal or Everton as it stands right now, two clubs that people expected more of, puts a lot of pressure on him. And the last thing I'd like to see is Arteta moving from his current sort of assistant role at Man City, moving to Arsenal and everything goes wrong, or moving to Everton and Everton, it just all falls to pieces, because we've seen it with coaches. It can ruin reputations very quickly, and the fans can then get on the back, and you forget that legacy that these players have left as a player. So I'm hoping he stays, but by all accounts, to answer your question, Pep really likes him. The players really like him. So I'm hoping he stays at City.
Now on to a bit of a different question. The fourth question is, what are my thoughts on TalkSport and the Simon, Jordan and Robbie debate? And obviously now I've got to respect it. I work for Arsenal Fan TV. I work with Robbie and I know him pretty well personally. So in terms of my personal thoughts, in terms of Simon Jordan, I don't really hate him that much. It's not like do you know what, if I'm being honest, I didn't even know who he was until prior to this, your whole TalkSport stuff and him pulling out AFTV. In terms of his debate and his points, I think they're pretty pointless. I mean, he might have a few points here and there, and he's got his opinion, and you know what, I respect his opinion. You can have your opinion, I don't mind that, but that's the whole point. If you can have your opinion, we can have our opinions. So when an Arsenal fan goes on Arsenal Fan TV and he gives his opinion, that's his opinion. It might not be right, it might be right, but the whole point of opinion is his opinion. It's not the facts, yeah? And so when I hear people go, oh, Arsenal losing games because of AFTV, how mentally weak do you have to be as a player to be hurt by the words of fans that give their opinions? And it's not like it's over exaggerated and Arsenal fans are coming out and going, he's not good enough and he has to go. It's more of a matter, if they're not good enough, it's because they're not good enough. There's not many players Arsenal Fan TV regulars have called not good enough, and he's ended up to prove them wrong or whatever. And if he does prove them wrong, fair play. The whole thing is with AFTV, right? Every fan that goes on there wants Arsenal to win, obviously, unless he's an opposition fan. So when I see people go, oh, we want them to lose and all that stuff, it's it's not true, because we want to see Arsenal win. I love to see Arsenal win. I've been going to Emirates every game of the season and I want to see Arsenal win, and we've not seen enough wins this season. And do you know what? How can Arsenal Fan TV remain positive when Arsenal have made the worst start to the season since the 1970s? Like, how am I meant to remain positive? How am I meant to go, oh, you know what, lads, you know what, it's all good? No, it's not good. When it's not good, I'm going to say it's not good. If it's good, I'm going to celebrate. That's how football works, isn't it? Then I see the likes of Ray Parlour as well come out with all this stupid nonsense of, where was AFTV when Arsenal were winning? Well, of course, there was no YouTube prior to 2005 when that was when Arsenal were winning. So in terms of Simon Jordan in particular, the debate of him hating Robbie for making money, I actually personally feel like there's nothing wrong with making money. I'm not saying Robbie goes to Arsenal to make money, but if he makes money, fair play to him. That's the whole point in life. A lot of people would love to make money. I would love to make money as well. So the whole point of this money stuff for a man that, you know, made a lot of money and then bought a football club, it makes no sense to me. And all this stuff, and in terms of TalkSport as well, how they are what Arsenal Fan TV are as well, in terms of they give fans a voice, they'll give themselves voices and opinions, and it's all about opinions. So I just don't know how they've used it and they've turned it around when they're exactly, you know, the similar sort of thing. Like, they give fans a voice, we give fans a voice. The only thing is with us, because maybe in fact we're getting more numbers or it goes more viral, whatever. But the thing is, if Arsenal to win, we are positive. It's not like Arsenal win and we're like, oh, it's all negative. And if it is negative, then fair enough. But if it's not negative, which is obviously not, when, you know, Arsenal fans, we expect more from our club. That's no matter of fact. We've got high expectations. And when you like that, you have to deal with that. It's like United and Liverpool. They've got high expectations. You know, as growing up as an Arsenal fan, I've seen Arsenal not necessarily win a lot, but I've seen Arsenal be successful to an extent, the top fours, the FA Cups, and to see Arsenal where they are now, it's extremely hard to be positive. And if you are positive right now, then God, bro, fair play to you. So in terms of this whole TalkSport, Simon Jordan stuff, I think, you know, put it to the side. We've responded to TalkSport. Obviously, Robbie went on TalkSport. He responded. He gave his words. Cool, calm, and collected. No, you know, they were cutting him off constantly. Jim White, who's meant to be a moderator, is tagging up on Robbie, and it's like, TalkSport are what they hate. If they hate AFTV, then you need to have a look at yourselves in the mirrors, because if you hate AFT for what we are, then what exactly are you? But I'm not going to go too much into that, because that's their opinions. They can do their thing over there, and I'll do my thing over here.
Well, your fourth question to me, Babs, was, do you think Pep will stay? Similar to the last one, do you think Pep will stay at City at the end of the season? And if he goes, who should replace him? Well, I still think there's been all the rumours, and it's very strange as City fans reading, you know, reports in the Daily Mail and the Times and the Telegraph, and, you know, all of these coming out all of a sudden claiming by some officials have claimed that Pep's got this release clause in his contract that at the end of the season he could leave. Now, all right, we are not top of the table. We're currently third in the table, and so far we're in December. There's still a long way to go. If we could potentially, you know, let's face it, we could lose the Premier League on both domestic cup competitions and win the Champions League. Now look at the furore that was, and by the media, that was made of Liverpool winning nothing except for the Champions League last year. All we got was now they're suddenly the best team in world football and blah, 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 blah. We could win the Champions League this year and win nothing else. I'm guessing the media would treat us the same as Liverpool. Somehow I doubt it. But we could be the best team in Europe, the best team in world football. And if Liverpool were to win the Premier League, it's irrelevant according to them, because it's all about Europe. So, yeah, I mean, we could win 3 cup competitions this season, or a Champions League and a domestic cup double, you know, a double. So there's still a long way to go in December, but it's funny how all these rumours suddenly surface. And Pep came out in his press conference yesterday and said, there's no release clause in my contract. So it just goes to show, I don't know who is bullshitting who, if I'm being honest. But at the end of the day, I think Pep has come out on numerous occasions and said he wants to stay at Man City. He wants to see out his contract. And he even has made statements to say, if Ferran, Cheeky and Khaldoon want me to stay, I think I'd be more than happy to extend my contract. So it's just the typical media stirring stuff up for me. I really do believe that. They've just constantly got it in for City all of the time, and Pep. And any little spin they can put on it, you know, they will do. But for me, Pep will definitely see out his contract, which is in 18 months' time. After that, I'm not too sure, if I'm being honest. Maybe he'll sign another, maybe he won't. As for the next manager, like I said in the previous answer, I think Pep would really recommend to Cheeky and Ferran for Mikel Arteta to come in to Manchester City, or big shout here. 18 months' time, would Brendan Rodgers, I know he's signed an extended contract till 2025. Would Brendan Rodgers be on City's radar? He's done a great job. Got close at Liverpool. He dominated Scottish football. He's now come down and got Leicester playing some wonderful football. But I don't know. I'm not looking that far ahead, if I'm being honest, Babs. I'm just purely looking at Pep to be at Man City for the next 18 months.
So the final question is my score predictions for Sunday. Now, this is very interesting. The way I look at it is either Arsenal are going to go out there and get battered 3 or 4-0, or we're going to go out there and pull out a 2-0 victory out of nowhere, sorry. So I don't know. It's so split, and I think that split means you're going to have to go down the middle. It's going to be a draw. I think it'll be like a 1-1 or a 2-2 or a high scoring draw. I feel like City's defence is definitely gettable. As you can see, United did it as well. And I think Arsenal's defence is obviously, we all know it's gettable. So it's just a matter of whose attack is the more clinical on the day, because both teams will make chances. So I feel like, personally, I'm hoping for Arsenal to win. We need to win, by the way, as well. I know City need to win, but Arsenal need to win as well if we to get this top 4 place. So I think it's going to go down the middle. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. But yeah, hopefully Arsenal get the win.
And Babs' final question to me is thoughts on the Arsenal game and prediction. The game tomorrow, I think it's going to be difficult. It's obviously, we're away. Arsenal are in and out of form at the moment. I think defensively, both teams have not been brilliant. It depends. Obviously, Aguero, by all accounts, is not back for the game. So we're going to stick with Gabby up front. Got a brilliant hat-trick midweek against Zagreb in the Champions League. I'd like to see Raz actually step up and really have a really good game, because it's been probably 3 or 4 games where he's looked back to his usual best. I hope Bernardo Silva or Mahrez has a wonderful game, Kevin De Bruyne. But I think it's going to come down to which team's defences perform better. Now, for me, Otamendi should all day long be in that team as it stands at the moment. Who his centre-back the pairing will be? Probably Fernandinho, because Pep said Fernandinho's playing there. So I would go back to Fernandinho and Otamendi for me as the centre-back pairing. You're quick up front and you're dangerous on the break. We've seen how City have been caught out on the counter-attack. So I'm guessing that might be your game plan tomorrow. Maybe sit back, try and win the ball, pressure us and hit us on the counter. So I'm hoping Ben Mendy's in there, if I'm being honest, and Kyle Walker as right back. And prediction-wise, Aubameyang's on fire, scoring loads of goals. I believe, is Pepe having a late fitness test or he's out? I'm not too sure at this moment in time. So I've actually gone tomorrow, believe it or not, and you'll prove me wrong on this one. I've gone for a comfortable Man City win tomorrow. And after midweek, I just fancy us to step it up. And we tend to always done well down at the Emirates. So I'm going to go for Arsenal 1, Manchester City 4. I know, I'm going to get shot down for that one, but I'm crap at predictions anyway. But anyway, I want to say a massive thank you to BHAVSS from Arsenal Fan TV or AFTV. Don't forget he's got his own channel as well, BHAVSS 14. So go over and check out his channel. It's in the description below. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. This is the preview with BHAVSS, and tomorrow we'll see what happens. Take care. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and give us your comments below this video. Take care. Come on, City.